Let's talk today about a new blockchain-based project called Cocos Blockchain Expedition, or Cocos-BCX for short. This is an ecosystem that has an all-inclusive set of tools, really, for decentralized video game development. And when I say decentralized video game, I'm talking about games that are based on blockchain technology, meaning the games themselves have no centralized server. The elements of the game are cryptographically woven into the game's blockchain, which can have a number of different upsides. And the blockchain often provides some sort of fraud-proof payment system, which can be another benefit of these designs. Cocos BCX is providing development and operating infrastructure for the game developers, even if they don't have experience specifically with blockchain or with decentralized apps. But the sort of long-term aspiration of Cocos on a larger scale is to help the game industry move from being fee-based to being asset-based, which I'm going to talk about more in a second. But first, let's talk about why would we even want to combine the gaming industry with blockchain tech in the first place? Like, how is it even a benefit to the gaming industry, right? So first and foremost, we've had this traditional model for gaming for a long time, which is you pay for the game, whether it's on a CD or a digital download or an app on your phone. That's how you pay for the experience, and that's how the developers make their money. But what's becoming more and more popular as a paradigm is what's known as the asset model for games. So this is where you're inside the game and you buy something, a certain item, a car, a skin, clothing, a sword, whatever it is. And those things, those items, actually have value to the player within the context of the game. Cocos is arguing that this is the direction that the gaming industry should be heading in general. And it's kind of already started to go in that direction because the value of the experience to the end user isn't necessarily the game itself or paying $50 for the game in that value, but it's related to what has the user accomplished within the game? What have they discovered? What have they collected within that game or paid money for in the game? Or even what they bought in the game using the game's in-game currency that they might have purchased with real money at some kind of prior point in the process. You find the items in the game, you earn the items, you buy them, sell them, trade them, whatever. This is already happening. It's becoming a norm, asset-based gaming instead of just buying the game and that's it. That's why there's an opportunity for blockchain, okay? And what I'm describing here is kind of an economy inside of the game, and that can integrate really well with blockchain. So for example, an in-game item can only truly be verified as unique in order to create a scarcity of supply if it's cryptographically linked to the blockchain. Or the game's in-game currency could be blockchain-based cryptocurrency. And what Cocos envisions is all of this existing in one ecosystem, because the Cocos tokens could be used to purchase in-game assets from the developer. Let's say you're playing a racing game and you have a car that you spent a ton of time earning, but you don't really play the game very much anymore. You would now be able to sell that car to another player in exchange for Cocos tokens, and then use those Cocos tokens to buy, I don't know, a house in a different game that you've already started playing. And the value that you built up in that car through the hours you spent playing the game has not been lost. To figure out what the value of the car is relative to the value of the house, you need some kind of universal economic system between the games. And that's what's missing right now. And that's exactly what Cocos wants to provide, a standalone economy which uses crypto, since US dollars would be kind of impractical in this sort of high-speed gaming environment. And in order for games to be unified by the same economic system, you need to build them with a common framework, and that's what Cocos also provides. The Cocos developer platform serves as the core mechanism in the middle to facilitate these transactions between the games, and it'll allow developers to create their own blockchains for individual games. Game developers can use the tools without prior knowledge of blockchain, and Cocos BCX is built on the Cocos 2DX engine. That's already a prominent game developing engine. There's 1.1 million registered developers worldwide. So buy-in, as is often the case with a lot of these projects, will be jump-started because of that pre-existing user base. Games like Angry Birds and Clash of Clans were developed using the non-blockchain Coco software framework. So it's very, very well established. As far as the company, Cocos-BCX decided not to go with a public token sale at all. They are getting their funding from institutional investors. Coco-BCX's two co-founding executives are Haoji Chen and Richard Yang. Chen is a serial entrepreneur in game development. Yang has 14 years of experience in tech entrepreneurship, in investment, and then they've got a whole team of advisors that includes Jay Wang, the original inventor of the famous Cocos 2DX game development platform, and that's what Cocos-BCX is going to be built on. So I invite you to go to their website, learn more about the team, some pretty impressive credentials there. This is a project I really like, number one, because it's one of those rare instances where your sort of average, uninitiated consumer can interact with a blockchain use case. Some of these projects don't have that kind of relatability, and they might not even be aware that they're actually doing it, which is interesting as well. It also combines two maybe otherwise unrelated revolutions in the digital asset world, crypto, which we've talked about a lot, and commodified virtual items in video games, which I've spoken about less, but former producer Lewis certainly had a lot to say about. So it seems like it could really be a very natural fit. Check out Cocos-BCX using the link under this video. They're doing some really interesting, innovative things. I'm going to be keeping my eye on them to see what this project eventually ends up looking like. And I look forward to actually playing some of the games that end up utilizing the platform. And of course, nothing I have said here is a financial piece of advice. I'm not suggesting you make any particular investment. You should research for yourself before doing that. I'm reviewing the project in and of itself, and it is a very interesting one.